WIBTA if I moved out of state without telling my family or my husband I am pregnant. I'm sorry if this is long. I am using fake names here and posting from a throwaway for privacy. So, I, 24F, am 6 weeks pregnant, and the father is my husband, Caden, 28M. We're currently separated, and I'm not on speaking terms with most of my family except for my Uncle Jerry, 55M, and Aunt N, 51F. The rest of my family no contact. Here's why I'm separated from Caden. He went on a trip with my brother Arthur, 28M, my cousin Trevor, 21M, and Uncle Jerry. They planned a week-long getaway to Nevada for Trevor's 21st birthday, booking 2 hotel rooms. Arthur and Trevor shared one room, and Caden and Jerry shared the other. Everything was fine until the 5th night. That evening, they all went to a bar together, except for Jerry, where they met some girls and decided to bring them back to the hotel. While Jerry was out getting pizza, the others headed back with the girls. When Jerry returned, he walked into Arthur and Trevor's room, finding them with 2 girls, doing things. Enraged, he kicked the girls out. Then, when Jerry went back to his own room, he found Caden, fully clothed but with his pants down, receiving oral from a naked girl. Jerry just yelled at him and kicked the girl out as well, then left the room and left the hotel. He started walking toward his car. He could hear them calling after him, but he kept going. They eventually caught up with him near his car, begging him to keep this a secret. They all tried to excuse their behavior, saying it was one last chance to have fun before going back to their regular lives. Caden even cried, begging Jerry not to tell me. Jerry said no to keeping it a secret, telling them that he couldn't lie to me, and that I was like a daughter to him. If Jerry hadn't caught them, I doubt they'd have ever told me. They'd have taken this secret to their graves. When Jerry got home, he called me and told me everything. I was devastated and confronted Caden. He tried to blame me, saying I'd been neglecting him and he just wanted to have fun. Things got heated, and we ended up yelling at each other. He called me some terrible names, and says I was an abuser and I just left, staying at my grandmother's house. For the next few days, I avoided everyone, and honestly was one of the most peaceful time. Just staying with my grandmother. My grandmother was unaware of the situation and what was going on anyways. Until I woke up one morning when I found Caden, my mom, Arthur, and Trevor waiting for me in my grandmother's dining room. I felt so much tension in the house. I did sat at the dining room. My mom did speak first and was insisting I should forgive Caden, saying all men make mistakes and that we women should forgive and move on. I replied, that's a great bull excuse, that men can't take responsibility for their selfish actions and thinking. Arthur and Trevor tried to apologize, but I ignored them. Caden tried to hold my hand, and I slapped it away. He tried to talk his way out of situation. It was just embarrassing at this point. I was so over it. My grandmother did catch on the situation and she was absolutely livid. Especially at my own mother. She did immediately kick them out and told them they weren't welcome until they get their shit together. I was grateful to have my grandmother. My grandmother said I can stay however long I want. And honestly I didn't want to bring any more drama or stress into her house. I thought it was best for me to step away for a while. Since then, I've been staying with Uncle Jerry and Aunt N, the only people who've supported me in all this. I've also told my best friend Leal, 25F, about everything, and she's been incredibly supportive. She even offered to let me move out of state with her and her wife, who are planning to buy a pretty small ranch that they found. At this point, I feel like just packing up, taking my birds and small dog. I do have a horse at my Uncle Jerry's ranch, and I'm planning to rent a trailer to bring him along when I move with Leal and her wife, once we settle into their new place. And honestly to start fresh, without telling anyone except maybe Jerry, and my grandmother, and our mutual friends who are on my side. I've been keeping my pregnancy a secret even from my uncle and aunt, because I'm afraid that Trevor might find out and tell Caden. Trevor and Caden are really close, and I can't risk them knowing. The thought of leaving without telling my family, and keeping my pregnancy from them, feels right given how they all sided with Caden. It still hurts me so bad, how my own brother and cousin would try to hide something like this from me, considering how close we all were growing up. Now I don't know who they are anymore. On top of that, my other cousins and my other aunt and uncle, Not and or Jerry, all agree I should forgive Caden and move on. It's honestly shocking to me that everyone is on his side, when I'm the one who's been hurt by all of this. I honestly just want a fresh start. So WIBTA if I just packed up and moved out of state without anyone in my family knowing? Except for the few who do know.